welcome to Devil's Advocate. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Shawn.
Howdy.
Today, howdy!
Yeah, I figured I'd mix it up a little bit.
Wow. Wow.
Did you like that?
Texas Shawn.
Yeah, did you like that? I'm going to bring a hat in next time.
Anyway, yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Mix it up.
I'm just going to start wearing assless chaps, I don't mind.
Only on the weekend.
Well, I'm not here then, so it doesn't matter. Do what you want. What you and your girlfriend do in your own times. Entirely up to you. Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about what we think are possibly the worst ways to die.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad ways, but this is sort of our top 10 in our opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously if anyone feels that we've missed something out, and we probably have.
There's obviously not really a great way to die, is there?
No.
They're all kind of bad.
Yeah, even old age sucks.
Yeah.
That's
like
yourself in a nursing home.
Yeah, it's like an honourable mention, isn't it?
Yeah, there's an honourable mention to old age. Shitting yourself in a nursing home.
Around a load of young people that have to take care of you who really don't want to take care of you, don't really care.
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't really want to be there but have to be.
Yeah. Don't want that one. I can only just keep me liquored up.
Yeah.
Although sponge baths.
Oh yeah.
Might not be so bad.
If they're hot.
Depends who's giving it, I
was
suppose.
Gonna say if it's a big muscly man, I don't think you're gonna
be
be enjoying it that
much. Not really
much.
down for that.
Nah. Well, you might be. I don't know.
No, I'm not.
No?
I'll be like, oh, well then again, I'll be fucking like in my old age. Who cares? A touch is a touch at that point.
I just need human connection.
I just need someone to touch my dong. I'm 89.
A sponge.
There's no one else touching it but me. Anyway, on with the show.
Yeah.
Oh, let's give
we're doing a show. I forgot.
A quick shout out to my compadres on Cutting to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. Go and check them out.
Yep.
I'm usually on there. It's quite fun.
Usually. You're always on there.
Oh, yeah. There's no show without me.
I'm not usually. I don't get invited.
No.
I'm like the kid that doesn't get invited to parties.
Yeah, the unpopular kid. So, thumb, we're all getting high and drunk, and you'd be there going, it's a bit smoky in here.
I know, yeah.
Yes, it's called hotboxing.
I don't like it.
Well, you know what to do. Go and stand by the window.
That's why I don't get invited.
Okay.
Should we start with the
start with 10?
The least worst way to die of our 10.
Yeah. None of them are great though.
But this is like number 1's the worst. 10 is the least worst. It's still really bad.
Yeah. Number 10 then. Wild animal attack.
So like any wild animal.
Like we want like bear, tiger, lion, rhino.
Well, rhino eat you. It's more likely to spike you than eat you.
Well, somebody eat you after. I have no idea. I don't know what rhinos eat. Who knows?
The flesh of its enemies,
apparently.
Flesh of its enemies. Apparently.
Never taunt a rhino. Don't look you stupid with that fucking horn. I'll cut that horn off. Ah!
My eye!
Yeah, I don't like the idea of being sort of pulled apart by a pack of animals. Or
like a pack of wolves just grabbing onto your arms and legs, tearing you apart. One's going at your stomach, just tearing at your innards.
Getting
not
that
nice.
sweet meat.
Yeah. Or even if like a snake was to eat you.
Oh man, I was stuck in a snake.
Yeah, you could be stuck in there like days before you die, maybe even weeks.
Yeah. Sharks.
Unless you got like a knife, you ain't cutting your way out of that. You're stuck in there.
Yeah.
Unless it bites you before it eats you, maybe.
Depends how paralysed you are.
Yeah. You're pretty screwed.
Or dead you are.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go, is it really?
No.
No matter what animal eats you, it's going to take a while, because they tend to like just attack you and shake you a lot first, don't they, before they start like going for the kill strikes.
Yeah, well, there's like a pack of wolves on you. They're going to be sort of eating your arms, eating your legs. They're going to be going for your throat. They're going to be going for your stomach.
There's a lot of pulling, isn't there?
Yeah,
ripping off bits
ripping
of you.
and tearing.
Yeah, it's going to be slow.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take, unless they go for the throat first, which probably you're going to have your arms up trying to protect yourself. So it's going to be arms and legs first.
Yeah.
It's going to take you about half an hour to die, isn't it? It's going to be very
say,
slow and painful.
If they hit a major artery, a couple of minutes before you bleed out, but that's still a couple of minutes of excruciating pain.
Being torn to pieces, seeing things that no man should ever see, seeing those internal organs, and they're internal for a reason.
Yeah, they should stay where they are. Yeah. You know, we are fleshy meat sacks. Everything should be on the inside.
And as you're starting to hallucinate, as you're kind of fading to black, you just be like, oh, look at that cute puppy eating a squeaky toy. It's not a squeaky toy.
It's my lower intestine.
Yeah, or your kidney.
Yeah. Good luck to the fucker that gets me liver.
Oh, I'll just stroke it. Ah, I hurt my fingers.
Okay, good luck to the one that eats my liver. He's going to be pissed for the rest of his life.
He's going to get drunk. He just dies on the spot.
Just alcohol poisoning. down.
He said, take one with me.
That's my plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can both agree that no matter what the animal is, it's not going to be good.
No.
And even if it's like a small animal, it's still not going to be good. Like
A honey badger.
yeah, they're
They'll bite your
violent.
nuts off.
They rip your nuts off,
Yeah.
don't they? That's not good, is
Who
it?
named that?
I don't know.
Because it is the worst name for an animal that just goes for your nuts straight.
It sounds like an adorable creature, doesn't
It
it?
just, oh, look at the little honey badger. Oh.
And then it mauls you.
And then it takes your testicles.
Yeah, it goes straight for the weak point.
I don't like it.
I wonder where it goes for women. Same place.
Who knows? I've no idea. I'd imagine it's really fucking painful if it happened to a woman.
If it aims for that sort of area, it just misses, and the woman will be like, nice try, honey badger.
He's a jaws
Yeah.
snapping in the air.
There's nothing there.
Ah, fuck
It's
you.
like, not today, motherfucker. Just slap the honey badger away.
Yeah, but then it's just going to get more angry.
Yeah, probably tear your arm off.
Call its honey badger mates.
Yeah.
Before
Army of honey badgers.
Before you know it, you've got an army of honey badgers swarming over you.
Swarming over you.
No, you don't
Yeah.
want that. Shark as well. Wouldn't fancy a shark because then you're getting drowning as well. in
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, you hope the drowning gets you before it slowly rips your arms off and you bleed out, I guess.
Yeah, it takes your leg.
Because you're going to
They're gonna have your legs first,
You're
don't
going to
they?
be bleeding out and drowning at the same time.
Oh, God.
Not a good way to go.
You'd be bleeding out and swallowing the water, which is also
Because
your
you
blood.
want to scream in pain, don't
Yeah.
you? So you'd be like, which is going to kill me first? The shark eating me? Or my suffocating on water?
Now, apparently what you've got to do is like punch a shark in the nose.
I don't know how true that. I thought it was the gills.
Or the eye.
Yeah. I
Mind you,
don't know.
if you punch anything in the eye, it's going to stop hurting you.
Yeah.
or get
It's
angry.
not a good one, is
One
it?
of the
'Cause
two.
you're going to drown or you're going to get eaten. Or both is going to happen at the same time.
It's a bit of a shitter.
Yeah. So shark attack is not a good one.
Nah, I don't want the
Neither one.
shark attack.
I've
No.
heard if you can find a way to turn them upside down, it immobilises them.
Well, that's great. If you think you can wrestle a great white shark who probably weighs, I don't know, a couple of £100, if you think you can
And then try and twist it.
twist him over, right,
Yeah.
while he's trying to rip your leg off.
Well, he's in the water, so he's lighter.
Yeah, but you've got. Batman could do it.
Batman can do it, yeah. And I am Batman, so it's fine.
You've just announced your secret identity to everybody.
Damn. We can't post this one. Edit that bit out, it'll be fine.
No,
it'll
I'm
be
not
fine.
editing that out. I mean, he manages to punch Harley Quinn in the face underwater and knock her
You,
out.
you should want to do it, Robin.
I'm not Robin.
Yeah, you are.
I'm so not Robin.
You're just squeezing into those
I'm not
tights.
squeezing into the tights. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you are.
I might go for Batman Forever Robin, where I get like a Robin suit as opposed
Yeah.
to a shitty yellow and green costume.
Is that the one with the nipples, though? Where
I
they
think
have...
he had nipples in the George Clooney one.
Oh, that's terrible. That
Which
is
one was
terrible.
that?
I can't remember.
Batman Forever was the one with the Riddler and Two-Face, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What the fuck was the other one?
Batman and Robin had...
Ah, that's it.
Yeah, and
That's
it had
the
them
one.
with the nipple ones,
Yeah,
didn't it?
nipples, yeah.
Nipples on a costume.
And the
Genius
Bat,
idea.
And the Bat credit card.
Yeah, man.
How does Batman get a credit card?
I don't know. He gets.
Kind of like, it's not like he can go to
he
the bank.
goes to the bank and gets a credit check, and they go, "Yes, sir, that seems
Yeah.
fine to me."
Oh,
and they just
oh,
give him the card.
This guy Bruce Wayne's got phenomenal credit. He's your sponsor, is he?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not Bruce Wayne. He's just recommending me for this.
Seems to check out.
Sorry, no.
Credit
Crap.
card approved. Bang.
I know that the banks in America will literally give credit to anybody, but come on.
Right,
What
number
a dick.
9.
Number 9. Electric chair or lethal injection?
Well, these are very different, but they're both. The cause of them is you've committed a crime, serious crimes,
Yeah.
and you're going to be put to death. So the end goal of this one is like you being punished for your sins.
Or you're an innocent black man convicted by an all-white journey. But
Yeah.
a jury, even, but you know.
Yeah, that happened a lot. That did happen a lot.
Yeah.
That's not cool at all. No.
The electric chair can take.
Typical crazy white people, that
I
is.
know.
Yeah.
Check your privilege.
Yeah.
Electric chair apparently can take you 2 minutes to 2 hours to die.
And wasn't it 2 minutes to 20 minutes for the chair? Was it 2 to 20?
Oh, 20 minutes, sorry.
Yeah,
the
it's
lethal
2 hours
injection.
for the lethal injection.
2 hours for the lethal injection, yeah.
Well, you're like getting, like, it's like a microwave, isn't it? You're getting
Yeah.
like electrocuted essentially.
Yeah.
Like, and you're getting cooked at the same time.
Yeah, you are literally burning.
Yeah, electrocution, burning. Like I'm guessing don't they put that thing over your head so you don't see their eyes bulge out of its socket
Probably,
and
yeah,
stuff?
they put a thing
or
over-
explode or fry.
I wouldn't want to clean the mess up.
No, because they're wet, aren't they? Your eyeballs, so I'd imagine
Yeah.
they'd fry.
Well, you're 70% water. You're going to fry full stop, aren't you? It's-
Yeah, but you can see them, so I'm guessing they do they leak? Do they leak blood? Do they explode?
I wouldn't like to say, but either way.
It's a pretty grim way of dying.
Yeah.
And then the lethal injection, I've heard you saying this the other day actually, if it goes wrong, it can last for like 2 hours and it's excruciatingly painful.
Yeah, I mean, it's classed as being more humane than the electric chair. And in some cases it is.
Well, in a way it is, because in the electric chair, we were watching that video earlier, and they shake so violently, people have been known to break bones.
Yeah.
From vibrating, like shaking, and it just snaps a leg or something. They're tied down to this chair. So that's brutal. So it sounds like in the lethal injection, you just lay there, you're strapped down, you don't really move.
Yeah.
You're not really convulsing the same way you do with the chair. So it seems more humane, I guess.
Yeah, but the one account I read where this guy was given the injection and then it was called off, so they pumped him full of the antidote. He said for the few seconds he had with this stuff in him, it felt like his veins are on fire.
Oh man. That sounds painful.
That can take 2 hours, and you'll lay there with what feels like your veins literally on fire.
Why don't they scream in agony then?
Maybe they gag them.
Is it the drug
kinky.
Is it the drug that gives them first, kind of like because they give them a few drugs?
I'd imagine there'd be a sedative in there.
It's like a cocktail,
first,
so I'd imagine the first sedative makes it so it's hard for them to move, talk, shout, scream.
But as we know, people fuck up.
Yeah,
and
people view them, don't they, in a screening?
Who would want to see that?
Victims, I guess.
I don't want to, if someone had killed someone very dear to me,
yeah,
I don't want to watch them die.
I would. I'd be stood there at the glass down, and I'm giving eye contact the whole time.
Eating popcorn?
Yeah.
Slowly?
Yeah. Going, yes, keep going.
I'd want to behead them myself.
Would you?
Yeah.
With a bastard sword, like a...
No, an axe, it's harder, it's more painful.
Oh, okay. But like a blunt axe.
Well,
so it takes a few hacks.
Well, I mean, it can take like 5 chops to get through a neck with an axe.
Jeez.
You know, it's the weight of the axe, how pissed the executioner is, or used to be. Executioners were usually
drunk. As we know, you probably would be.
Executioners were usually drunk. Yeah. It was a job. They didn't want to do it. It was a job.
So you had to get drunk to
they would
have the courage to do it.
You know, oh no, not another one.
Yeah,
smashed.
Drink a little bit.
One guy, the Duke of Monmouth, who led a rebellion against James II.
Yeah.
He was an illegitimate son of Charles II.
Yeah.
He took 5 chops to get his head off.
Jeez. Maybe he just had a really thick neck.
You know, it's looking like a fucking toast rack.
Jeez.
The back of his neck. And then they, ironically, they realised that as he was the illegitimate son of the former king, there was no portrait of him. So they stitched his head back on and painted him. And that portrait is hanging in the National Gallery. I've seen that.
Is he posing in it?
He doesn't look the most enthusiastic.
No, it doesn't look like he's having a great day. His tongue's just hanging out the side of his face.
No, they spruced him up a bit.
Did they really?
Stuck the wig on him, you know.
Oh man, that's grim.
It is. I've seen that. It's interesting. To say the least, you're like, that dude was dead, eh?
So yeah, to be fair, we had to go like joint ninth with this, didn't we? Because we couldn't decide which one was worse. I think electric chair clinches it the tiniest bit, but lethal injection, 2 hours of your veins being on fire, sounds pretty awful as well. But 20 minutes of being fried to death, not great either.
No.
So that's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose just imagine what happened to a piece of bacon if you fried that for 20 minutes.
Oh, 20-minute fried bacon sounds delicious.
Pretty fucking burnt though, wouldn't it?
Not if you do it at low heat.
Yeah, we're talking about high heat, aren't we? It's the electric chair.
I haven't eaten yet. I'm hungry, man. You just making me want bacon. I just want bacon now.
I don't think there's any bacon. Sorry. All right, number 8.
Number 8.
Buried alive / suffocation, kind of the same. Well, we assume buried alive as in literally buried. They think you're dead. Put you in a coffin and bury you.
And then you wake up.
And then you wake up. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Or sort of buried alive as in there's been an earthquake or a natural disaster. And you're trapped under rubble.
Trapped under it. And
then you're going to suffocate.
Yeah, either way, the end sort of thing is suffocation. But it's almost like the mental trauma at the same time, isn't it? Because the terror of being underground, you can't see, because there won't be any light. No. Chances are, unless you got buried with your phone and you can reach your phone, you've got no source of light. So you're in complete darkness and you're just essentially waiting to die.
Yeah.
You don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know when you're going to run out of air. If you're being crushed by something, you might be struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
Or if you've been buried alive, you've just got whatever's in the box. And once that runs out, you're done.
Yep.
And you're going to waste it really quick because you're going to be screaming for help because you don't know where you are because you're in a dark box.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd probably shit myself. The smell would be pretty Well, I'd like the smell, but...
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, you are probably, from the panic, you're probably going to piss yourself, at least, at the very least.
Yeah.
'Cause you're afraid.
And also you think, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Might as well. No one else here.
Yeah, it's like, it's painful, because like when people climb up mountains and stuff, they talk about the sort of altitude and when the oxygen's thin and how it starts playing on their brain, and it's almost like it's torture. A lot of people don't make it to the top of the mountains because that such thin oxygen really starts to become a torture on the lungs and on the mind. And that's what's going to happen in that box, is that oxygen thins and you get less and less and it runs out. It's going to be painful on the lungs. Your mind's going to be going, but constantly for that entire time you're stuck in there, for how long the air lasts, constant fear because you're in the dark, you don't know what's going on, you're just confused. Especially if you've kind of, I don't know, you had like a heart attack or something and everyone thinks you're dead and you're in this box and you wake up and you're like, so you're not feeling great as it is and you're like, why am I in this dark box?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Somebody's buried me alive. That's the first thing you go to, but that doesn't stop you from being terrified. You're like, if I just woke up, can they hear me? If I bang loud enough, are they still there? Are they going to hear me and dig me out, or have I been here for days?
Yeah.
Hours?
Who knows how long you've been there for? You don't know.
No. Well, there's that one film, isn't there? Is it with is it Ryan Reynolds, where somebody takes him and they bury him?
I only remember the CSI episode where one of them
there is one.
I think the Quentin Tarantino directed that episode.
Yeah.
He was buried in a clear perspex box with a webcam in there so they could see him as he was
slowly suffocating. Yeah. So that's scary. That is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's good. In best case scenario, you've got your phone on you and you've got a light, and maybe you can get a signal and call out.
I doubt it.
But
I don't know if you can get a signal in underground.
Again, that's what I mean. That's best case scenario, but that's highly unlikely. You're gonna die basically.
Yeah.
The likelihood is unless there's like if it's a grave, there's a grave digger that hears your screams. But again, you're like 6 foot down, are you?
Yeah. I did read somewhere there's a way to get out.
Kill Bill style. Boom, boom.
Yeah. Apparently you have to smash the lid of the coffin.
Yeah.
Gradually enlarge it, but as you have to pull yourself through and let the dirt empty into the coffin at a certain rate, so
swim.
It creates the space for you to get up. But let's face it, you've got to be pretty fucking strong to do that.
And quick, because if that starts falling quicker, then you can dig it out and push it to the sides of the coffin and crawl yourself out. It doesn't land on your legs because you can't move much.
No.
And you've got to wiggle through without making too much of a gap so that not too much comes down. You've got to be really quick and strong, otherwise it's just going to crush you and you're going to be stuck in the middle of the soil. This is really disrespectful, but I'd tie them all up to like a piece of fishing line and I'd like literally sit there and just ring one at a time. But not for like the ones that have died recently, because that's like super disrespectful, but ones for people that have been dead for like 20, 30 years.
I think they've probably taken the bells off by that
just
point.
Hold it and just ring it a little bit.
My God, he's been in there for 20 years.
The grave digger's just at work and I just shake one. And he's like,
Thing is, would he do anything? He's like, well, buried you now, I'm not digging you back up.
He'd probably just kick the bell on the floor and run away.
Do you know there's still grave diggers? Because that'd be an alright job.
I would imagine so. Yeah, that could be your next venture, man.
Yeah.
You can wear like a trench coat, like a duster and a big hat. Look like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And just start digging graves, and when people turn up, just like give them a grim look and walk off.
Yeah, I like it.
That's pretty cool.
And I'd get hench.
You would get hench. You get bad back though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of digging.
I don't want that.
No.
My back's shit as it is.
But you can
anyway.
walk around looking intimidating with a shovel.
Yeah, and everyone would think I was a weird serial killer.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean think?
Should we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Number 8.
No, number 7.
Number 7?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting through these.
Being boiled alive.
Oh, what do you mean by being boiled?
I'm assuming they're going to stick you... Well, we could go this one or two ways. You're stuck in a big pot.
Okay.
Full of water.
So, like, in this scenario, like, so you've been caught by cannibals.
Or some kind of weird Tudor execution pot.
Oh, okay. And they're just sticking you in there, and they're like either cooking you for dinner or they just want to see you suffer.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like boiled with water or like oil or something like that, and they're just going to cook you slowly.
Or they stick
maybe
you
cut in a few potatoes, a few carrots.
Yeah. Carrot? Who's having carrot with me? You want to take a look at yourself, pal.
Just like, give me the wine.
I'll put the wine in. Jesus, you lot can't do fucking anything.
Don't boil me. I'm more of a slow roast.
Yeah, I'm more of a slow cook. It's like that.
Get the turkey based. I'll show you how it's done.
Come on, for fuck's sake. Have I got to do everything myself?
Just start basting.
Or there could be that big...
Get those garlic things and put them on your arms.
Would you put the clove of garlic up your own arse?
Oh, no. Right, get back to the point. Go on.
Or that big golden ball they used to stick you in and light a fire underneath.
Stick an apple in your mouth.
Yeah. You know, that kind of thing is the big golden ball thing they used to do back in antiquity, where they just boil you to death that way.
Yeah, it's like a torture thing, isn't it? They'd stick you in the bull and then they put a fire underneath. It's like was it made of like iron but just painted?
I think it was
gold?
like bronze or something like that. Yeah.
And then they just shove you in there, lock it closed, and then they'd set a fire underneath and it would slowly cook you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd imagine you'd pass out from the heat on that one.
At some point, yes, but I'd still imagine it'd be quite. But then again, once it starts to sizzle you, wouldn't you wake up?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because you're like, fuck.
When you run out of air very quickly in that.
Yeah, it'd be like being in a sauna that's far too hot.
I'd imagine for about a minute or two you'd be in extreme pain, then you just pass out, wouldn't you? When they open it, you'd just probably be goo inside.
I think you'd just be like pink meat at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Well cooked.
Yeah. I hope they don't eat you after.
Boiled in like hot water or oil would probably take a little longer though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
In like a pot.
Well, it depends if you fall in. Let's say you just fall in by accident.
You fall in.
Let's say there's a big vat of boiling water
If I ever
or boiling liquid.
If air quotes, if I ever accidentally fall in boiling water, look at Ben. If I ever accidentally, because nobody accidentally falls in a boiling pot.
1989 Batman Joker, Jack Nicholson, falls into a big vat of liquid.
The vat of liquid.
So what if that liquid is boiling?
Or if you fall into
some industrial process.
Or you go diving into some sort of like a hot spring and you don't realise the volcano's superheated it.
That's
and
it.
Like, super boil them.
What movie was that? Dante's Peak.
Yeah, that's a good film, that is.
Yeah, it was alright.
I liked it.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was alright.
I really like. Is that the one where the guy he's a firefighter and he steps into the volcano?
No, that's Volcano.
That's Volcano. I always get those two mixed up. He's like getting melted, isn't he? And he's like, take him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he throws the guy.
I genuinely love that movie.
We should have added that into
being burnt alive
by lava slowly.
We had that discussion on Cutting to the Boys. It's like I can hold this lava back and just start punching it.
Punching the lava.
Oh, my fists!
He does though. He's like carrying the guy and he's stepping in the lava.
Well, he picks him up in a fireman's lift.
Yeah.
And goes to jump. Doesn't he? He can't jump far enough because he's got the dude on his shoulders. So he lands in. It starts dissolving his legs and he's sinking down.
So like, he's trying to walk through it like Terminator.
Yeah. And then he realises that he can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
And he throws the dude off and he's going down.
That's not how you die with lava, is it?
No, I'd imagine you catch fire.
I think you catch fire. It's like so hot, he would have just burnt to death straight away.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd melt you. I mean, maybe.
I don't think it does. I think you would just it's like rock, isn't it?
Yeah, it's molten. It was molten rock.
I'd imagine you'd hit it like he did, and then you just burst into flames.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I don't know, but that scene where they hold the lava back with concrete blocks.
We should add that onto the list, really, as part of one of the other ones.
But that scene where they hold the lava back coming down the street with concrete blocks and fire hoses is pretty fucking sweet.
It is cool. Probably wouldn't work, but it's cool. It's pretty cool.
That scene is awesome.
But
boiling alive, it's not fun.
No.
None of these are fun, let's face it. But
I mean, it's going to boil your blood.
Yeah.
Which is going to literally feel...
And the water in your body.
Very painful. Yeah, then the water in your body. It's going to boil your organs, so they're going to probably explode inside you. They're going to pop.
Yeah.
And your skin's going to, swell.
Peel off.
Eventually you're just going to be a goo in that water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go.
Or just a flushed pink corpse bobbing about.
Yeah, it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
You're going to be a swollen sort of lump of mass.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very painful.
I don't want that.
No, that's not a good one.
Drowning is number 6.
Yeah, we kind of were in two minds of this one, weren't we? We didn't know we couldn't decide where to put it on the list. We kept moving it further down and further up because drowning sounds awful.
It's horrific. It's one of my personal fears.
It's a big fear for a lot of people, and people that struggle to swim or can't swim, it's like their biggest fear.
See, I can swim, and I can swim very well, but I still fear drowning. Being trapped in a room that's filling with water.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good a swimmer you are then.
I was talking to one of my clients earlier about this, and he
Just
said...
point out you're not a male prostitute.
Only on the weekend.
That's where the assless chaps come in.
Yeah,
I see.
It doesn't pay well enough to do it full time. I don't get as many.
Obviously, need to be a better power bottom, don't you?
I don't get as many customers as you might think.
Yeah, you're one of your physical training clients.
Yes, because I'm a personal trainer. That's my only job. Only, but. Yeah, I was having this conversation earlier, and he's not a strong swimmer, so he said that's like his all-time fear, drowning, like getting in a swimming pool or in the ocean and just going too far, not realising, nobody spots him, and he just goes under, and he can't swim, so he just drowns. So that's a big, big fear for a lot of people, because it's like all the control you have is gone. Yeah. You can't fight. There's nothing you can do.
You're exhausted, probably.
Yeah,
paddle.
Yeah, if you
water.
can swim, that's it. At this point, you're exhausted. You're tired. You can't above water anymore, and you're just sinking. Yeah. Or the waves are that strong; they keep pulling you under, and that is just terrifying. And it's almost like every time you try and take a breath of air, you're gasping. Your lungs just fill more and more with water. Yeah. So it is a big one. But at the same time, we were speaking about it. It's only going to last a couple of minutes, and it's almost like, because your lungs fill with water so quickly, you would probably pass out, or your body would release a ton of endorphins, because it would be so confused from the not being able to breathe properly that, you'd struggle really bad for about a minute or two, but then it'd probably be over. You'd be unconscious, and you probably wouldn't feel the sort of the death, essentially. So we couldn't decide where to put it, because we imagined it would be complete agony, but for only a couple of minutes, and then you'd just be gone.
See, it's one of my worst fears.
Yeah, it's a big fear for a lot of people.
I don't swim in the sea, because the sea, quite frankly, scares me a little bit, even though I am a swimmer.
It's the unknown of it, isn't it?
It just looks pretty big, and it's like, well, that ain't the local pool.
I've been told that before, by the way.
Well,
it's pretty big.
Oh, right. It's near my sex tape.
Is it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's not something I'd want to do. Like you said, I never actually thought about that, the endorphin rush.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, well, I suppose in most of these circumstances, the adrenaline's in,
and your body's going to pump out a ton of different hormones to try and compensate for the pain.
Yeah.
So
I suppose it's like the old adage of the plane crash, isn't it? The oxygen comes down. Yeah. It's not to help you breathe. It's because you're going to take large gulps of oxygen.
Send you high,
and it gets
calm.
you high.
Yeah.
So you become calm, you become docile, you accept your fate.
Yeah, so I'd imagine in the drowning, your body would probably, to cope with the struggle, it would release, if it's not endorphins, I'm not a scientist, but it would release something to try and calm you.
Yeah.
I'd imagine, because it knows that at that point, it's just, there's no point. To an extent, like you said, with a lot of these, it's going to do that anyway. This is why your body tends to pass out. It kind of forces that sort of thing, so you don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
That, I think you'd pass out pretty quick on that one.
See, I don't think that applies to the electric chair. I don't think you'd pass out from that.
No, and if you did, I think it would take a while. Yeah. Because it's almost like it shocks you awake.
That's it. So you're just constantly getting shocked.
So even if you lost consciousness every 15, 30 seconds, you'd be back up again.
Yeah.
So,
and then you'd feel your sort of skin starting to sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about the endorphins actually, but drowning is not what I want.
No, it's like the boiling one. In the water, maybe you could say that you'd stay awake, but in the bowl, because the oxygen would be thin, and because you'd be so cramped and it gets so hot so quickly, your body would pump out a load of chemicals, and you'd probably pass out quite quickly in that one, I'd imagine.
What about if we
in the boiling water, you'd probably try and splash and move around more.
Well, you'd be like, ah!
Yeah, trying to get out. You'd probably weighed down with like a brick or something, but you'd be trying to get out.
The fuck? Who's put a brick into the equation?
And you'd be trying to grab the edges of the pot to lift yourself over, but it would be so hot, it would just melt your skin to it.
Yeah, you'd just get your skin stuck to it. You'd rip your thumb.
You'd be like, ah!
Rip the palms of your hands off.
Yeah, drowning's a terrifying one. We really struggled to find where to put this film, so we thought about halfway. We'll put it at about 5 or 6. Because it is a difficult one, because it is a lot of people's biggest fear.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people. And understandably, because it is. The others, even though chances are you're being killed by someone or there's something there, drowning a lot of the time you're on your own.
Oh yeah,
in complete darkness.
Although sometimes, I mean, there's people watching.
Oh yeah, if you're being drowned.
No, like, you know, you fall in the river.
Yeah.
Then
that would be even more scary though, wouldn't it? If like, you know, when they do like if somebody's trying to like kill you and something, they shove you in like a bath and they hold your head under. You know, and you see it in movies and they're like shaking their face and they're inhaling it and their arms are flaying outside of the bathtub, hitting the water, and their legs are kicking. That must be terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I'd imagine that would speed up the process because you'd struggle so much. You'd take big breaths.
The more you struggle, the more oxygen you're using.
So you'd breathe in deeper.
You're breathing in more.
Yeah.
Although there is the theory that you can just, if someone was doing that, you could go limp, convince them you're dead, and then pop back out the water.
Well, that's what some people do, don't they? If somebody tries to put a pillow over their face, they struggle for a bit, and then they pretend so the person will get off, and then they fake it.
Yeah.
But a lot of time it's instinct to keep fighting until you pass out.
Because you think, well, I could stop fighting, but what if he doesn't let me go?
Yeah. What happens if he holds it there for 15 minutes straight?
Yeah, I'm not getting. I've wasted all my oxygen holding my breath.
And now I'm going to die.
Damn.
So yeah, I'd say drowning's not a good one. It's a scary one, especially in the ocean. The ocean's a scary place. And like you just said earlier, if you're lucky, it's just drowning. But if a shark rocks up, you could be getting eaten as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the ocean that wants to eat you. Piranhas.
Well, fucking everything, really.
Piranhas, I mean, I don't think they're from the ocean, are they? But if you're in like a
Amazon River.
Yeah, if you're in a river and you start drowning in there, you get eaten by a crocodile or you get eaten by piranhas. There's a lot of things in the water that will eat you. A lot of things.
There is.
So,
it's quite a hostile place, really.
Yeah, you start drowning and then something starts munching on you as well. It's added pain.
I don't want it.
No.
Alright then, number 5. This is one that I don't like either. Chemical or biological warfare.
Okay, so now we're talking about like the two countries or multiple countries at war, and it's like foot soldiers, or are you talking about like people in villages as well? Just being attacked by some sort of... Is it bombs or...
It can be bombs, it can be released by canister if the wind's going the right way.
Yeah.
Usually delivered by bombs or artillery.
Yeah.
You go back to the First World War, mustard gas is a chemical attack.
What does that do usually?
That will blister your skin, blind you, blisters your lungs, cause them to fill with fluid.
So like you swell up essentially.
You blister. It's a blistering agent.
Yeah.
And it will blister your internals. It will blister your windpipe. It'll make it hard to breathe. It'll blind you. It's not pleasant.
Does it feel like it's burning when you breathe?
Yes, it's a burning sensation.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Is there any others similar to that?
Well, that's the main the chemical, but biological. It literally, the biological agent literally attacks your nervous system.
Oh, I've seen this before.
So I mean, if you VX or sarin, causes you to have muscle spasms. Now, I was in the Army Reserve. I had my MBC training. I was an MBC instructor. Every single MBC kit, nuclear, biological, chemical, comes with not only antidotes, which may or may not work. Depends how cheap your contractor is.
Rolling the dice there.
Yeah. It used to come with an auto-injector for Valium.
Okay.
Which is a muscle relaxant.
Stop you from violently convulsions
because
until you die.
You will spasm so hard you snap your own spine.
Oh, that's awful.
It's called doing the funky chicken.
Oh, well, at least they thought of a fun name for that awful
Well, that's
thing.
the slang for it. But yeah, if you think you've been exposed, and also let's not forget that your eyes are melting.
Can you imagine
your
that?
Skin, your tongue is blistering.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's really not. It's one of the worst things ever invented by man, to be fair.
Could you imagine that though? You're all like at the pub and you're like really sad, and then like another soldier comes in and he's like, "Oh no, what happened?" And like, "Oh, Dave died of the funky chicken," and it just goes really quiet and sad.
Yeah.
That's like, why would you call it such a cheerful name?
Well,
as a nickname.
Maybe he wasn't. There could be two things. He could have actually been doing the funky chicken on a dance floor and died of a heart attack.
Oh, okay.
Or he could have been exposed to VX gas.
And violently convulsed on the ground until his neck snapped.
Yeah, I suppose the thing is, if your squad mate started violently convulsing, you take his own Valium and jab him with it.
Yeah, so he probably wouldn't die.
Yeah, you don't use your own stuff. You might need that.
Okay. Oh damn, yours doesn't work. It looks like you're screwed.
Oh well, I'll take that. Thank you very much. I know what I'm doing after this. Taking the Valium. It is not fun, and as the saying goes, as I was always told, on in nine or home in pine.
Oh man, that's
the gas
dark.
masks.
That's dark.
Yeah. You got 9 seconds to put your gas mask on before that shit starts hitting your nervous system.
So is this stuff still regularly used in warfare?
Well, it was used in Syria.
Yeah.
ISIS allegedly used it. I'm going to say allegedly with
there's 2
massive
people died, didn't they?
air quotes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of evidence to suggest that maybe it didn't happen, and then it gave the West an excuse to go and bomb something.
Ah, okay. As often we need an excuse to bomb something.
We always need an excuse. We're the good guys, remember?
And we always find that excuse.
Yeah, even if we have to fake it.
Yeah. I heard 2 people died during that, didn't they?
Yeah, there was an attack where I think like 127 people died because of a gas attack. The gas weapons are outlawed technically under the Geneva Convention, as are biological and nerve agents, but lots of countries still have them.
Do we use them?
We don't use them, but we've got them.
Okay,
They're at Porton Down, down south.
Just in case we need them.
The official line is we keep this stuff so we can develop antidotes to it.
Okay.
So we have to have it to develop the antidote.
But they keep mass amounts of it.
But they keep a fair bit of it, yeah. I don't know, I wouldn't like to say how much each country has. Could be anywhere from hundreds of tons to a few vials.
That's incredible.
That's probably should be a little bit higher up the list, maybe. It's not a pleasant way to go.
No.
It really isn't. And it lasts, again, couple of minutes of excruciating pain, feeling your eyeballs melt in your sockets.
Yeah, we struggled with the last 5 on this because they were all pretty close, weren't they?
Yeah.
Sort of 1 through 5. They're now this like so close we couldn't make up our minds. It's almost like we just thought, right, let's just put them in an order so we can talk about them. But these are all really close, and some of them probably we've talked about it. We're like, maybe we should move that one up, or maybe we should move that one down. There's another one that I think it's the next one actually.
Death by insect.
No, the one after that. The one after, we'll save that one, but the one after it, I think should be moved up.
Yeah.
But again, we couldn't make up our mind, could we, in those sort of 5?
No.
The insect one is brutal, though.
Oh, yeah. This is an old sort of method of execution / torture.
I'd never heard about this till we watched this video.
No. I'd heard of something similar, but not to this level of preparation, where you're fed milk and honey for 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Then stuck in a wooden box with
You're
your arms.
You're like tied down to it, aren't you?
Yeah, you're tied into
with
like
your ass sticking in the end of it.
Yeah, your head's exposed, your arms and legs are exposed.
And then your ass is like in a bucket.
Yeah.
A giant bucket.
You're then covered in milk and honey.
They keep force feeding it, you don't they?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're kept alive through all of
They
this.
drop you in the water and they're still force feeding it you, so that you smell delicious. and for all the insects, obviously. And then because you've been fed the milk and honey for 2 weeks, you're like shitting constantly, aren't you?
Yeah.
It gives you massive diarrhea because that's all they've force fed you, like in mass amounts.
Oh god, imagine if you're lactose intolerant and they're just forcing milk down your neck
Oh
every day.
man! So you're like, it gives you massive diarrhea.
Yeah.
And then this milk and honey attracts all the insects and all the bugs and creatures, and they all burrow inside of you.
Well, the first time they just start biting you.
Yeah. Getting a taste.
Which is, let's face it, if you've got an itch you can't scratch.
That's a nightmare.
Oh.
And we're not talking about 1 or 2. We're talking about hundreds, maybe thousands.
We
of
would be
bugs on you.
talking like literally, probably dozens, if not hundreds, of insects swarming around you.
Yeah.
You can't move. Then they start getting into the box.
Yeah. They burrow inside your skin.
Burrowing inside
Start
the skin.
eating you from the inside.
Eating away at you, laying eggs. Then you've got maggots growing inside
And
you.
just to make it worse, a guy turns up a few hours later and feeds you more honey, smears you with more honey.
Yeah,
and
glazes you.
Yeah, he glazes you, and then before you know it, you got another couple of hundred bugs on you again, re-eating you and re-burrowing all over you.
And you cannot stop it. You are trapped completely.
Tied down, and it goes on for like 3 or 4 days till you die. Doesn't
2 weeks was someone lasted.
Yeah, someone lasted 2 weeks, but the average was like 3 or 4 days, wasn't it?
Still, I mean, that's... You want things to be fairly quick, and the majority of these...
In the video, showed
up to this point are fairly quick.
Yeah.
This is a fucking long, drawn out.
And that's why it made it up the top of the list, wasn't it? Because of how long it goes on for. They actually showed us a photo, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the guy had bits of his. He's like rotted away in places because these bugs are just eating away at him.
And then you've got the maggots coming through your skin. I mean, I love the pimple popping vids. Where sometimes you're lucky and you get someone removing a botfly maggot from their arm or face.
And God knows what's happened to the bottom half of you. Stuck in that bucket.
Oh, man.
The infections, the rotting, the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The groin sweat.
Oh, yeah, that's the least of your problems, though, really.
Oh, man, my balls are so sweaty.
That would be you. You'd be like, oh, this is a minor inconvenience, caked in my own shit, but what's really annoying me is this sweaty balls.
Can someone scratch my balls?
Yeah, that's what's really bothering me.
Please.
The shit I can deal with. The maggots I can deal with.
Just someone, for God's sake, scratch my balls.
That's typical of you.
I love that scene from Casino Royale when he's like, yeah, a little bit to the left. He's Daniel Craig's tied to the
he's
chair.
tied to the chair and he's swinging that rope.
Swinging that rope, and he's like, yeah, a little to the left. He's like, I'm going to tell everyone you've scratched my balls. Love that.
The thing is, in that film, he would need serious medical attention by the end of that.
He did after. He was in hospital for ages, wasn't he, at the end?
Yeah, but he continues fighting, doesn't he? And he continues for a while.
No,
is that the end of the film, is it?
No, he's literally stuck in the chair.
Yeah.
He's beaten, and then someone comes in, and you hear a couple of gunshots.
Yeah.
And he passes out.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up in a hospital bed.
Oh, okay.
So he's it's assumed that he's had time to rest and recuperate.
Yeah, they probably had to remove them.
Nah, it's Bond.
You reckon?
He's got standard issue British steel testicles.
It just reminds me of Paradise PD.
Yeah.
You know when they're trying to
my
steal...
balls, my beautiful balls.
They're trying to steal the cocaine chicken recipe.
That's it.
And they tie the dog up to the chair.
His balls are just swollen and throbbing.
That's what it would be like.
It would.
Right.
Unless you're into that.
Yeah, well, you probably would be.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose. I am a bit of a deviant.
So,
I'll try most things once.
We can both agree that's an awful, drawn-out way to die.
Yeah, being eaten by insects is not the way I want to go.
And it's not even the nice insects. When we forgot, actually, the eaten by animals one, there was one we watched where there was the army of ants.
Oh, yeah.
And those army of ants, they just literally, they're travelling around millions, was it millions or billions at a time?
Yeah, 100,000 at a time or something like that.
I thought it was a million.
Well, it was counting. There's a shit ton of ants.
And they just, everything they go over, they eat. If you're asleep on the floor, they run over you and just eat you.
They have been known to strip sick people who can't get away down to the bone.
Yeah, that's dark. That's being eaten by tiny little bites.
Yeah.
Not a fun way to go.
Death by a million bites.
Yeah, so insects is not a great way to go.
No.
At all. And if you're tied down and there's no escape and you're just there rotting slowly, awful way to go.
Yeah.
Awful way. Right, shall we move on?
Yeah, number 3. Death by radiation.
Yeah, this was the one I was on about.
Yeah.
We didn't know where to put this one either, did we?
Strangely enough, not one of the videos we watched mentioned this.
No,
I
it
think
didn't.
this is a fucking terrible way to go.
We watched 4 videos and they all had their top 10s, and so they had different ones. We wrote down almost 40 different ways to die, didn't we?
Yeah.
And radiation sickness didn't come up once. And we've both watched Chernobyl, haven't we?
We have.
And it is I didn't even know. You've talked about it before, but it wasn't until I watched that series did I realise how awful it is to die this way.
And the worst of it is you'll be sick and you'll be vomiting at the start, and then a couple of days later, for 3 or 4 days, it'll feel like you're making a full recovery.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to be great, I'm going to be fine, and then you start to melt.
Yeah, all of a sudden your skin starts falling off. That one guy in the bed, he literally looked like a zombie.
He was melting into the bed.
The sheets. Yeah, he's mummified, but he's no, not even that. He was he looked like some sort of gel was coming off of his
Yeah, his skin was just
body.
Sloughing off, becoming liquid. Your cells start to break down. The thing that holds your body, the elasticity in your skin and the cellulite that holds your skin together starts to break down. Your entire body starts to break down at a molecular level to the point where they can't give you morphine for the pain because your veins are collapsing in on themselves.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
So you're in extreme pain and there's no way of getting away from it.
Every breath is a fight.
Yeah.
One of the guys in the show, I think it was in real life as well, he was only 25.
Was that the firefighter?
No, that was the firefighter you're thinking of. They didn't show you his face in the show. He had literally looked over the side into the exposed core.
I remember
And
him.
she says, he didn't have a face to tell me what happened.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah. It fell off.
Yeah, he's not even recognisable as a human being.
Yeah, when this radiation gets in, it gets into you, like you said, on a molecular level, it just starts. It's like it splits it apart, and then it just goes and moves on to the next one. It moves on to the next cell, splits it apart, and then moves on to the next one, splits it apart. And the devastation is bit by bit, you just fall to pieces.
Pretty much.
And that's an awful, painful way to go. And once it's done with the skin, it starts making its way in. It's like it just passes through your entire sort of body.
Well, it's affecting all of every breath you take. Remember, it's got into your body as well, so it's rotting you from the inside as well. It's breaking you. Your organs start to fail. I
wouldn't even say you're rotting. It doesn't even. It's so quick. You don't even have a chance to rot.
It can be 2 weeks. It can be 3 weeks.
It's just your body just collapses. It's just it just falls in on itself.
I think that is the best way to describe it. That your body just literally falls in on itself.
Yeah.
After everything fails.
Yeah. You literally just turn into like a lump of jelly.
Yeah.
It falls in. Everything starts.
X-Men 1, the Congressman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. He just turns. He literally gets out and he just turns to jelly, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what happens to you. And it's like you said, you can't give anyone anything for the pain.
Nope.
Because it just the veins collapse. There's literally they're screaming and they're in agony, and you don't want to get close.
Probably can't scream at one point because their tongue will just dissolve.
Oh yeah.
They'll be able to make their vocal cords will go.
That's true. Actually, a lot of them weren't screaming. They were like making like gasps and grumbles, weren't they?
I think they're just fighting for air.
No one wants to get close to you either.
They can't get close to you unless they're wearing a full suit.
Yeah.
But remember as well. Let's say that you're in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Let's say you're not at ground zero.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in the vicinity. Then you're going to die of cancer later on.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly fun either, is it?
Yeah.
A long, drawn-out death of cancer or painful chemotherapy, radiotherapy. I mean, it's all a bit shit.
Yeah.
In all fairness. I think that's really the understatement of the show.
And even if that is a great show. It's a phenomenal show. If you've not seen it, watch it. It's phenomenal.
I think it's the highest rated show on IMDb.
It's arguably one of the greatest shows ever made.
Yeah, I must buy that.
Yeah. I feel like you'd enjoy watching it. I'd probably watch it again with you. I know I don't usually like watching shows again, but I think I'd watch that with you. It was really good.
I think I've watched it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's such an awful way to die. When you watch that show and you realise, even if you aren't anywhere near it, like Ben just said, you're likely to get cancer. And even if you don't get cancer, it can pass on to your children. To your children's children.
Birth defects.
Yeah, you can pass it on. That sort of effect. Even if it's not the reason why it kills you, it can be the reason why it kills someone else.
You want to give yourself nightmares? Go and look at the kids being born in Iraq now who near depleted uranium shells when they were used.
Yeah.
They've got birth defects. You've got kids with one eye. Their mouths are all misshapen.
Yeah.
It's not this stuff fucks people up on a genetic level.
Yeah, if they're being born with defects, maybe their lungs don't form properly, their heart, and then your baby dies. You might live, you might end up having cancer, you might survive the cancer, get treatment, and you're good, and then your baby dies from it because they get born without lungs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this shit really gets into the system, it gets into your body and fucks. It's almost like it alters your DNA.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people.
It affects you that badly.
A lot of people in the town that got cancer, it was like an untreatable cancer, wasn't it? Because it was so severe.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they were like, you've got like a couple of years. Well, wasn't it the guy that did like the main character in it, the one that was trying to resolve it? Didn't they say you've got like 2 to 5 years?
Oh yeah. Well, he turned around. I can't remember his name now. The main scientist at Chernobyl, the guy who was, I want to say Litvinenko.
I can't remember his name.
I know, neither can I. He says to the guy he's with, one of the Politburo, he's like, you're joking, aren't you? We've got 5 years tops. We've been next to an open reactor for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because he was sat with the general, wasn't he? And they were both talking about it, and the general was like, is it worth what we've done? And the guy was like, well, yeah, we've saved countless lives. And he was like, well, that makes it all okay then. Because the guy's old anyway, isn't he? But you could see he was like coming to terms with the fact that, because at the beginning I don't think he really realised this was going to be like a death sentence to him.
Yeah, going there is a death sentence.
Yeah, and then the more time he spent there and he started to understand and learn the science behind it, because a lot of people don't understand it. I certainly didn't until I watched it and the bits that you told me about it, the science behind it. And then when he sits there and he's having these conversations with the scientist, I can't remember his name, and it sinks in that he's going to survive now, but he's not going to have a long life.
Yeah, and the head scientist did end up actually killing himself.
Yeah, he does. The cancer doesn't even get to him, does he?
Well, he's starting to. I think he's starting to sort of become ill and thinks, you know what, fuck it.
Well, Russia hushed him as well a lot, didn't they?
They did. They ruined his reputation, sadly.
Yeah, they hushed him a lot. So I think, didn't he write like a book before he killed himself?
He recorded tapes.
That was it, tapes, yeah.
I mean, and of course, let's not forget all the people across Europe who are exposed to that radioactive cloud. I've got Polish friends who said that they remember it. They're slightly older than I am. This was 1986, so
Yeah.
I was 3. They're a couple of years older than me, so they were 5 or 6.
Yeah.
They were, weren't allowed outside to play.
Yeah. Because they were worried about like radioactive
Because
wind.
of the fallout,
wind
because of
and
all
rain.
that radiation coming over.
Yeah.
And they said that when they watched it rage, they was like, "Oh, can I go to play?" No, you can't go to play. Oh, why not? Just you can't.
Because of the rain.
And then they saw the rain. They remembered watching the rain, and it was orange
Oh man.
coming down. It was orange. They had to go and have a drink at the doctor's.
Yeah.
Like a liquid. It was probably some kind of iodine solution.
To make sure they don't
doesn't get into
sickness.
the thyroids there.
Yeah.
You get throat cancer.
To make sure they don't get the any sort of cancer.
And then the amount of people that have had cancer because of Chernobyl, I mean, it's probably in the millions across Europe.
And you
it's
think
unreal.
about that devastation for it to go that far, that people in Poland are suffering.
Yeah.
That's not right next to Russia, is it? It's not like
it's on the Russia, Poland, but this is northern Poland.
Yeah.
And the Ukraine is at the bottom of Russia.
Yeah.
It's literally sort of near the Crimea.
Yeah.
Which is like, then you've got the Black Sea and then you've got Turkey. So it's pretty.
It's close.
Pretty fucking down to the bottom.
But
now remember that when they
in terms of where the reactor was.
Oh yeah.
To where Poland even starts.
Kids in Germany weren't allowed out.
That's what I mean. That's a hell of a sort of journey for that sort of radioactive fallout to travel.
They first found out about this, about the Chernobyl disaster, when some nuclear technician in Sweden went into his nuclear power plant and triggered the fucking radiation detectors.
That's ridiculous.
Because he had a bit of radioactive dust from that reactor on the bottom of his boot.
That's crazy. Definitely going to be a future topic. This.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be. We're gonna, or just nuclear radiation and nuclear, just anything to do with the sort of nuclear power or nuclear bombs. I think they should all be topics.
I'm going to make you watch Threads as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that a few times.
Yeah, that's harrowing.
But I think we can all agree this is a very, very painful way of dying.
Yep.
And if you don't understand it, watch some YouTube videos or please watch the show because it's amazing and you can really see. And I mean, it is graphic. A lot of people couldn't finish it, could they?
Whoever did the makeup in that show deserves some kind of Oscar.
Yeah, because it is very graphic.
Yeah.
You see the suffering and you almost, it's like you feel like you're there witnessing it. It's dark and they're in a lot of pain, and that's why it's number 3, isn't it? But I think
probably knock it up to 2, but
we were struggling to kind of put this one, weren't we?
I think number 1 is our own fear, our own personal
possibly,
one.
yeah.
So number 3, death by radiation. Don't want that.
No, that's an awful way to go. We can both agree with that.
Take me out if it's a nuclear bomb, take me out in the first wave.
Yeah.
Take me out in the first strike.
Yeah, instant death.
Yeah. The only reason that lost to number 2 is because number 2 is torture.
So this can be indefinite, providing your heart doesn't give out. And as we know, there's ways of keeping the heart going.
Stimulants, adrenaline.
Yeah.
I mean, a doctor / torturer, even though that completely contradicts the Hippocratic Oath.
Let's say for argument's sake, you're a soldier from a different country. They're trying to get information at you, so they've got a doctor on hand to keep you alive, so they can get you. So even though it's against what he would usually.
Well, I suppose he's doing no harm. He's keeping you alive.
He's keeping you alive, so he's just counteracting what the torturers are doing. But this means that this can go on indefinitely. This is why it made it to our number 2.
Yeah.
Just because it could literally go on for years if you wanted it to.
It could do, yeah.
Providing you don't die and it's not too extreme, it could go on for years.
I mean, let's say you I don't know, wrap a tourniquet around someone's leg, and then you just start very slowly sawing it.
Yeah, but torture can get very creative. You can pull off fingernails, pull off teeth, cut parts of your ear off.
Teeth out, bamboo splints under the fingernails and toenails.
Yeah, I've heard of that. There's one where they put make you sit on like a chair and get like a bamboo tree. And I think this is China. They get like a bamboo tree to grow through your legs.
Ooh.
So that could go like months.
Yeah.
We watched one as well earlier where in China they do like 1,000 cuts, don't they?
Death by 1,000 cuts.
So they use like a little knife and they just nick you a little bit everywhere till you slowly bleed out. But there's some really creative ways of torturing people.
The least one, my least favourite, is the Judas chair.
No, the most scary. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Let's get that right. That's when you told me about that, I was like, that is scary as hell.
The Judas chair it's a structure with a pyramid,
it's a pyramid,
cone, let's say. not so much of a pyramid, more of a cone with a point.
Yeah.
And you are positioned above that, suspended.
With ropes.
With ropes.
It's not as kinky as it sounds.
Let's say that point is then you're lowered onto that butthole first.
Oh,
and then
that's not good.
Slowly, over a course of time, days, weeks, lowered down onto that spike.
Yeah, they said they put weights on you, or they pull you down.
They can put weights onto you and your ankles and wrists too, so you drag yourself down onto it. And,
yeah, they can pick how quickly it goes down.
You know, you're essentially killing yourself by ripping your arsehole apart. I don't fancy that. Call me a one of the patriarchy and a horrible masculinist.
Yeah.
I don't want my arsehole ripped apart. You know, I don't want any part of me ripped apart, but especially not my arsehole. No. Because that's a one-way system. Yeah. Stuff comes out, nothing goes in.
I wondered why you were on about patriarchy. I get you now. It's a one-way system for you.
It's a one-way system for me.
Yeah.
As a white heterosexual male, it's a one-way system for me. No one is putting a chutney ferret up my chocolate boulevard.
Gross.
And I'm especially not having a Judas cradle stuck up there.
Yeah, but there's other creative ways, isn't there? There's the...
Your favourite one was soaring. Least favourite one.
Least favourite, yeah, because they tip you upside down, they tie your legs up, tie your arms up, and then they saw you from your groin down.
Two dudes with a big saw.
With a big saw, yeah, like one of those old-fashioned wood tree saws. Yeah. They saw you down. Apparently you don't die till they've gone over halfway. Sometimes even longer. So you're just getting from the groin down. Cut.
I suppose you're missing the major arteries, aren't you? Yeah.
So it's like at least. So
obviously you're gonna bleed out. But
so they go past your groin, past your gut. They get to the stomach, and maybe you're still alive.
They'd probably make it to your sternum.
Yeah. Maybe even make it further if you're really durable. Maybe.
You'd probably pass out after, but then again, they could just fucking smack you awake and carry on.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Every judder of the saw. Yeah. Oh, you know, it's like cutting wood.
Have you ever used one of those saws? They vibrate like mad.
They're quite sort of flexible, aren't they?
So you'd feel all those vibrations. Awful. Yeah. Awful way to go.
Yeah, and then there's the old HDQ. Yeah, hang, drawn and quartered.
Yeah.
That's us. I mean, so they hang you for a bit until you're nearly dead, which is painful enough.
And then they take you down. Cut you open. Where'd they cut you again? Stomach?
Across the stomach. Take your intestines out.
Yeah.
And then they're either going to A, cut you into 4 pieces, or B, the horses will pull you apart. Oh. And then they'll stick your head on a spike and display it prominently.
I think we can both agree being pulled apart is not a good way to die.
No, being pulled off's fine.
But there's a lot of sort of tortures where they either cut things off or they pull things.
Well, this is more we're saying the old HDQ is a torture. It is pretty much it's a long execution, isn't it?
Yeah, it's drawn out. That's why the draw.
Same as the sawing. It's a long ass execution, but you know, it's fuck. I mean, and they usually reserve that for traitors.
Yeah.
So like Braveheart, old William Wallace was hung, drawn, and quartered, and no, he did not shout out freedom
because he was gargling on his own blood.
Yeah, and he certainly didn't bang the king's wife. Let's put it that way.
Still a great film, though. Whatever you say.
I don't like it.
You just don't like freedom.
I don't like it. I think that I know it's a bone of contention, but I think that people learn from watching movies.
Oh, okay, and it's not historically accurate.
And I think that if you're going to make that movie, history is entertaining enough.
Yeah,
I don't think you need to add stuff in like he's banging the king's wife and she's pregnant and the entire English Plantagenet line is actually Scottish. It's bollocks. But people think it is because they take
things literally.
They take things. People are fucking dumb nowadays. No one picks up a damn book and reads the fucking truth.
Unless you're one of our listeners, then you're not dumb. You're intelligent.
Of course you are. We value you all.
Yeah. I like Braveheart. I think it's good. I also like Gladiator, and I'm sure that's not very historically accurate either.
That's a hard one. The equipment certainly is period, I suppose.
Yeah.
They used to have armies fighting against each other in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
They could also flood it and have sea battles if they wanted to.
But in Gladiator the film, like, people die in every fight, but I watched something the other day.
They weren't so bloodthirsty, because a gladiator was a valuable commodity.
Yeah, you'd have like 20, it's like a boxer, you'd have like 20 fights.
Yeah,
Very rarely would an emperor kill the gladiator, because it's like killing a prized fighter.
That's
Just
it,
because they've had a shit fight doesn't mean they've won 8 fights and they lose one. You don't go, off with his head. You're like, that guy's a pretty good fighter, I want to keep him in, he draws in a good crowd.
That's it, isn't it? So not everybody died in the arena. People died, don't get me wrong, a lot of people died.
It was more rare than we were led to believe.
Gladiators were like MMA fighters, basically. They were trained and fed and housed at great expense.
So
one of the wealthiest people ever. Oh no, that was a chariot race, so I do apologise. But still, gladiators had like sponsorships.
Yeah.
The Roman women would pay to be pleasured by one of the champions of the arena.
Ah, they must have been good times.
I bet they were. Apart from unless you're a gladiator, because you're technically still a slave.
Yeah.
But you've just got a little bit more freedom than most.
I'd rather be a hench slave than a non-hench slave.
Well, that's true, and you would have been a hench slave because you've got to be. You're fighting.
Yeah.
Your job, you'd be fighting every day. Well, certainly, if not every day.
Yeah, but that's
then
what I
most
mean.
days.
I'd rather be like a gladiator than say like some nobleman's sort of water boy. I don't
Or
want to be a
eunuch.
Huh?
You don't want to be a eunuch.
What's a eunuch?
They cut the balls off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Like, did Theon have his nut? Oh, Varys. Varys had his nuts off. He was a
Varys.
eunuch.
Yeah.
Traditionally, if the guy that you charge to look after your harem of wives,
Yeah.
all those dudes who cater to those,
Yeah, you cut the balls off.
cut
so
the
they
balls
can't
off. They
fight.
can't shag them or impregnate
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So,
I'd rather
yeah.
be a gladiator, I think.
I'd rather be a gladiator
yeah.
too.
I'd rather risk my life every day than that.
And,
I'd rather fight tigers than do that.
And some gladiators did end up becoming quite wealthy and retiring and being free.
Yeah, you get given that wooden sword, don't you? And
Yeah.
you earn your freedom.
Yeah, I'd go for that. If
Yeah.
we've gone to gladiators.
Is it all the topics we want to talk about? We haven't got round to doing the podcast, so we're throwing them in little snippets. We're like, oh, you like this one? This one's next. If you want to hear more, tune in. It's like a tease show for the next up and coming ones.
Torture though. I mean, stuff that can be dragged out. I mean, you can have the thumb screws where you just put your thumb in a vice and screw down, break your thumbs, break your
the
toes.
skull one
the
is
skull
that.
crusher.
Yeah, that's not just a wrestling move.
No. Skull crusher Henderson. Oh no, that was from Bottom. Sorry. If you've never seen Bottom, by the way, it's an 80s sitcom.
Okay.
I advise you to watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's lots of creative ways of torturing people, isn't there? Lots of creative ways. Like you can peel off eyelids and everything.
Oh, yeah. You can take whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as they're kept alive.
Yeah.
You can cause them as much pain as you like, and with today's modern medical science, well, you can keep someone alive for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, it's not just physical as well. I've seen sort of
mental torture.
Yeah, you
as
can
well.
send them mad before you kill them, just to try and break them.
I mean, if you sat me in a dark room and played Barney the Dinosaur song at me
that's
24/7 at deafening volume, I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to know.
That's a way of making people mad, isn't it? It's been proven that works. If you put a song, an annoying song on loop, that's why so many Christmas staff get really annoyed in stores.
I get annoyed at Christmas because we have fucking Christmas FM on. It's the same fucking 10 songs every fucking hour. And they would, oh, you miserable bastard, you hate Christmas. Yeah, because I'm fed up with it. They've had the same fucking songs. That's 37 years of my fucking life.
If you didn't already know, Ben loves Christmas.
I hate fucking Christmas.
At least we've got rum ham, hopefully, this year.
Oh, we're going to have rum ham this year. That's a definite.
Right, should we move on?
Just two extra addendums onto that.
Okay.
Slightly back to the Roman gladiators.
Yeah.
Hardest bastard who ever lived, can't remember his name, was a gladiator.
Yeah.
Something Latin. His speciality was beating people to death with his leather-wrapped, spiked fists.
That's awesome. So he was like an MMA fighter then.
Yeah, but he had, leather sort of straps around his hands, and he had spikes on his knuckles, and he beat to death 1,425 people.
Fucking hell.
That was his speciality.
That guy's a badass. You
Yeah.
have to find out what his name is.
Yeah, hardest bastard that ever lived, I think his name is.
What was the second bit?
Forgotten now. It'll come back to me. Anyway, so
But it never did.
So number one, and this is our own, certainly mine.
So this is going to sound really crap after all.
It is.
We went into so much
It really
detail
is.
with the other ones.
burning to death.
Burning to death,
And
yeah.
if you're...
Well, we both agreed on this one, so we must have agreed on it for a reason. We both put it on number one.
So there's the two types of burning. You're trapped in a building or an enclosed space, whether that's intentionally or not intentionally, and someone sets it on fire. You'll probably asphyxiate before
you're going to die of the smoke.
Before you die.
Yeah.
But still not nice.
No.
The second one, like as an execution method.
Yeah, you're tied up.
You're tied to a stake. They set the fire under you, douse you with flammable chemicals.
Yeah.
And go, ha, up yours, buddy.
Yeah, this is like excruciatingly painful.
Yeah.
You can the worst thing about this is we talked a lot about the psychology behind the suffering as well. Yeah. This one, you smell your own flesh searing and burning.
Yeah, but I can smell pork.
Yeah, you would with you because you love pork.
Yeah, but crackling. Oh no, it's my feet.
But the worst one about this, you said earlier, is you just look at the sensory sort of attack. On this, because you smell burning, you smell smoke. You're
choking on the smoke.
Yeah, you're
as well,
choking on the smoke. You can smell yourself burning. It stinks of burning flesh, and you look down and you can see it, and you can't move. You can feel the flames searing your flesh. It's the sensory overload. That's the worst bit about this.
Until, of course, it does burn away your nerve endings.
Yeah.
But still, once it's burnt away the nerve endings in your legs, it's going to go up a bit higher.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel it all again.
Yeah, and literally, there's like films, and I don't know how accurate these are, but there's films and stuff where you see this, and they're like screaming. If they don't pass out, they're screaming till their face and hair is on fire. It moves all the way up.
Yeah.
Unless they pass out. It does tend to be, though, historically, they passed out before it gets to that point, don't they?
It does. The smoke will choke them.
And then it kills them,
still, let's say it's up to your waist.
Yeah. Let's say, for argument's sake, this evil bastard that's caught you and he's making you suffer, he's put like an oxygen tank going up into the air so you can breathe fine the whole time. It's like it's on your face and it's going up into the sky.
Oh, man.
So you can breathe perfectly fine this whole time and you're just looking down. That's going to be agony all the way up. That to me is number one. If you can breathe and you stay conscious the whole time till you're burnt, till you're cinders, that's number one for me.
Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah.
You start do the campaign mode, and it starts.
Oh, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
With this dude in like a glass. Well, he's like in a box with a glass front.
Yeah.
And he's on fire in there.
Yeah.
And he can't get out, and he's just literally banging on this glass thing.
Yeah, and they're moving while they're on fire. You can see their flesh burning away.
We've been watching Hannibal the series.
Oh yeah, Hannibal yesterday.
Spoiler alert. This
season one, end of season one.
Yeah. And there's that girl in the oxygen tube.
Yeah.
Oxygen. I want to say oxygen tent, but it's not oxygen tent.
Yeah, they're trying to help her heal.
She's being treated like a burns victim. She's in one of these high oxygen environments.
But because oxygen is flammable, the stronger the oxygen, the more pure it is.
Yeah.
It takes the tiniest spark for it to ignite.
A static spark.
Yeah, and that's all it took for her, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone had removed a grounding bracelet, which would have stopped that happening.
Yeah.
Left a plastic comb in there. She ran through her hair. Static charge. Boom.
Boom. And she was burning for a while.
Oh yeah, it's not a quick way to go.
She was like the whole thing. We can't even overestimate this. The whole thing was fire. There wasn't anything but her and fire in that tube. Yeah. And literally, she was screaming for like 2 minutes, wasn't she?
Yeah,
agony
absolutely.
for 2 minutes.
A hideous little addendum is that back in the day, if your family could get to you, they would try and get a bag of gunpowder around your neck.
Oh yeah.
So when the flame hit it, it would go off, take your head off.
Yeah.
The problem is gunpowder available to the common man.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good. It wasn't as good as the stuff the government had.
Yeah.
Wasn't refined and purified, and it was coarse and rough and probably had too much charcoal in it.
Yeah.
And it didn't go off like that. It just tended to blow a crater in their chest.
Oh, so they're still alive.
So they're like,
bang,
my chest.
Burning and pissing out with blood.
Burning. That'd probably kill you, but it's not the desired effect of taking your head off.
More agony, isn't it?
It's more agony.
It's probably another minute of suffering.
You've now got a crater in your chest.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. None of these are particularly pleasant.
At this point, I'd be like looking at my family like, what?
You bastards!
You cheap bastards! You couldn't fork out for the good gunpowder. Look at me, look at my chest. Look what you did.
Look at my peck. That'd be you. Look what you've done to my pec.
They were perfectly
I
symmetrical.
worked hard on that pec.
They were perfectly symmetrical. What did you do? Look at the symmetry.
Do you know how much bench I've got to do now?
Flame bench.
Yeah.
Ah. Even fire can't stop me from getting gains.
So I'm being attacked by our pet wolf.
Chloe, get down. Down.
I'm being attacked. She's gonna be the podcast mascot.
She's got to be, hasn't she? Should we just have like a photo of her? It doesn't even have a photo of us on there. It's just a picture of her.
Yeah, she's more photogenic.
She is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the list then.
Maybe we should get me and you in suits, like a Blues Brothers thing, and then her just sat in the middle with a suit on.
Yes.
And a hat.
She should have a suit and glasses, definitely. Yeah. I like that. Well, so we've got to work all this shit out. We've got to have a photo. We've got to have music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's the list. That's our top 10.
Top 10. We're about to get shouted at, I think. She's looking like she's going to shout at us.
Yeah, we haven't paid her enough attention.
She's stomping her feet.
Well, let's end the show then, really.
Yeah,
let us know what yours are.
Yeah.
We'd be interested to know.
Maybe we'll put a vote thing
to
see what people vote is the top 10 out of the ones we've put, and then leave it. They can add any extras as well.
That's it, disagree with us, agree with us. Whatever.
Ben will fight anyone who disagrees with us.
I will fight anybody if I'm drunk enough.
We'll give him 20 beers, and then you can fight him completely sober.
It's like, there was
It'd be like a bum fight.
There was a wild pig in Australia that stole 18 cans of beer.
Got wasted
And picked a fight with a cow. Now, that pig is my spirit animal.
Yeah, that's you. Hey, you over there. Come fight me.
You! I'll have you. What'd you say?
Yeah.
I'm actually a violent person.
But yeah.
I do like a beer.
You do.
So, let's end the show.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Give another shout out to the boys from the Apocalypse.
Yeah, you guys work hard, play hard.
Oh yeah. Oh god, no, that's that gay steel mill scene from The Simpsons.
That's why I said it. That's why I said
we work hard, we play hard. Dad, why did you bring me to a gay steel mill?
Well, you three are hotboxing in a room. I don't know what you get up to.
But after a couple of hours of inhaling solid weed smoke, I don't think there's much I'm capable of, to be honest. Especially after drinking like 10 cans of lager. I'm not in a position to do that. I can barely speak.
You have to put that in your dating profile.
Yeah, I'm great in bed. I have a swan's neck.
Okay.
They call me.
That's not going to catch on, man.
Some people call me the gangster of love.
None of that's going to catch on.
After 10 beers and a couple of hours of smoking weed, I'm just going to fall asleep on you. I'm old now. 10 years ago, I'd have been on it. I'm old now.
Oh, man.
Right, let's end it. I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult.
And I've been Shawn. Thanks. I'm working on it. I'll think of one.
Okay. Well, all right. Good night, everybody.
Right. Thanks.